say a good morning again, and let me respectfully say that I don't envy Ifri.
He's in a tight position.
Today, Nawa. Today has been very difficult, and I can appreciate how he's been trying to be. Forgive me for using the word dodgy. Listen, I was listening to Elvis as if he was MPP, but Elvis is a neutral person on the set. I say that because he was literally saying it as it is. Truth be told, reality has hit at a force. And rule one in politics, sometimes you are never to admit guilt, unfortunately. And that is why Honorable Ifri is struggling to bring up, in fact, all the woes of the MPP to make reason why the cocoa price has just been increased by just a tad bit, about 100 Ghana or 200 Ghana. 128. 75%. And so listen, I think that I'll borrow from Elvis's point of view that sometimes when you are promising, make sure it's a realistic promise. Listen, the NDC overdid it in terms of how they castigated MPP about cocoa pricing. Listen, I've heard Ifri, but the key point was that Atuforsen was telling Ghanaians and cocoa farmers that, listen, you are being cheated today, and that what you've gotten, you should have gotten X amount. And that when I come, barring all foreseen considerations, I'm going to give you this. He didn't tell us that when the exchange rate changes, he will change what he was going to give cocoa farmers. I think he should have been very explicit that, when I come, dollar to CD will change, so my promise to will change. Listen, he was categorical that you are being cheated today. So let's bite the bullet. Let's admit that we did not do our calculations well, and we overpromised. We just wanted to paint the MPP bad to the cocoa farmers. Let me say that I'm not necessarily happy that Atuforsen has failed to meet or give what he promised. And $120, honestly speaking, chicken change compared to what he had promised. And let me remind our other people that, listen, I weep because Tetekwashi Memorial Hospital, which should show us what cocoa has done for this country, doesn't. The Institute for Handling Cocoa Affairs in this country, in terms of the soil research, the bean itself and things like that, very deplorable. I mean, I would have hoped that even in the entire world, we would have had one of the best in terms of engineering for cocoa seeds and things like that. But unfortunately, let me almost tell you in plain view that what the Germans use on wheat, Indian hemp, is far advanced than what we even do here for cocoa, which is our main deal. And for that matter, these are some of the very unfortunate, significant things that we are failing to do. And I mean, there's so much we haven't done for cocoa. If you go to Cocoa Clinic today, it's not in the best of shape. We're using cocoa funds for roads that are not necessarily even within cocoa districts. There are major issues. But in all of this, the farmer and his family, have they improved from 2024 to 2025 as the NDC had promised? And I would say that we're yet to get there. We are yet to get there. So all the explanations, I'm sure Atuforsen knew all these explanations when he promised.
Yeah.
So easy, he has not delivered. And if you look at where we were supposed to go, which is 6,000, and when you start off with 120, I don't know how you can appreciate to 6,000 from 120 within the next several months that you have in power. And let me wish him well, but we need to be truthful to Ghanaians that we overhyped and we were just saying things to make the current government unpopular. One thing that
The previous government unpopular.
Sorry, the previous. I mean, current at the time.
At the time, during the campaign. Yeah.
Unpopular.
Do the farmers deserve an apology?
Well, they will not get an apology. The farmers, I can tell them today that Atuforsen and Mahama administration will find it very difficult to apologize for the hope that they gave them and for the truthful lies. Okay, truthful lies. As it stands, then it was truthful, but now I've been lied to. In the sense that you told me that you take us to school, you do all kinds of things for us, but as for the pricing, we've been ripped, and that you're going to improve it, double the amount. And here we are, we're nowhere close. So, sorry, I've not been convinced by all the hula baloo you've given us today. You've made an attempt to salvage Honorable Atuforsen, but this one won't fly. And I'm just being as real as it is that, listen, in the past 2 years, I think it is under the leadership of Honorable Dr. Brian Champon that we saw a bigger increase. And I'm yet to see if Atuforsen can beat that. If he beats that increment where we were before we came to 3,200 or so, then the conversation can start. And we must admit that it took some very challenging moves to get what they got last year. And I really think that this calls for us sometimes to be very careful of some of the things we say just to win votes. And I agree with Elvis. I mean, he couldn't have said it better that, politicians, we say all kinds of things to garner votes, irrespective of the inability to do it. And for all the many things that the NDC have done, as for the cocoa price, it has exposed them. The cocoa pricing has exposed you big time. And I think that we will advisably continue to remind Ghanaians that, listen, NDC lied to all of us in the thick of the elections. And people were very sympathetic with the cocoa farmers when they heard that Atuforsen was telling people that, I can make it better than what you have. And clearly, as it stands now, Western North roads that are supposed to be bringing us cocoa are still in a very deplorable state. I'm hoping that these promises of roads will see daylight. And then all the things that Uncle Frankie from Afajanto is saying might be a reality. So as it stands now, to sum it all up, one, we've been lied to by Atuforsen, especially with regards to the cocoa pricing. $120 is not what we bargained for, not what he told us, and he did not tell us he was going to necessarily change his stance, because when he comes, inflation will change. When he comes, standard of living will change. These were not part of the deal. And if that was the case, we should have been told that though I'm promising 6,000, when I come, the dollar to CD rate will change. So the 6,000 will also change. These are not, that's not how he put it. So, finance minister, I think he should go and come back. And I know it's going to be very difficult for him to say that, I'm sorry, I lied to you. It's going to be very difficult. Atufosin cannot say that. And many of his own statements are now biting him in the sense that whilst in opposition, he had the liberty to say all kinds of things, but in doing is another thing when reality sets in. So, of all the many things, as for the cocoa pricing, it has exposed the NDC and made all of Ghana realize that, in fact, the challenges that persisted under the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo were real, and that it was not government's own intention not to elevate the prices to an extent that it couldn't. And let me also clear one key thing. The syndicate loan was not necessarily because of just the failure to meet cocoa targets. The country as a whole, our credibility with the international market was down, and that we were, in a junk status, and that I don't want to bring all the narrative. We know it. So I just wanted to clarify that our inability to conclude with the syndicate loan was as a result of our debt repayment ills or woes, and for that matter, was not necessarily because of just our cocoa tonnage, and also the quantum that was illegally taken out of the country was not one individual, so it was bits and bits and bits. You can't haul that quantum in just one heist. So it was in bits and bits, and the conglomerate included all kinds of people, because I can almost tell you that to get things out of our borders, it takes pain a little here and there to get it out of the borders, and some of them were as a result of the unfortunate scenarios, and in concluding, also the Galamsey bit with cocoa lands. In fact, the temptation is quite heavy. If you look at the world market for cocoa products, and then you look at the world market price for gold, and the rapidity in which you can get your gold as compared to farming over a period, I mean, you are likely to fall for peking crane. You know what peking crane is? You get your cashito right away. And those are the reasons why retraining the cocoa farmers, reorienting them is very, very important. And I think that part of the solution really must be an effort of government to do large-scale cocoa farming by themselves. I mean, instead of this whole small pockets of cocoa farming, I really think that as a country, we've been blessed since the Kwashi embarked on this journey, and we've not really sat down to plan for it. I was watching how the Americans were planning for their Arlington Cemetery, and Masa, they sit down and plan for a decade on burial of military men. And if I tell you the budget for burying military men alone in America, you'll be amazed about the thinking and the time that has gone into it. And here we are, cocoa farming. We leave it at the mercy of a yearly, governmental type arrangement. But I think that if we really want to be serious, the cocoa industry needs to be almost independent of, government. And take decisions that are very bold and into 15-year sort of track, planning, so that they can help us improve on our export of cocoa, or even the processing of cocoa in this country, and how we can also market for Ghanaians to consume more cocoa drinks, and instead of products, all of these imports of orange juice and all these things. In about, I think, 2016 or 17, I was in Mexico and for a trade program, and when I looked at the cocoa products in Mexico, I was like, what are we doing in Ghana? Even our Nestle products are so limited. But the same Nestle in Mexico has so huge a variety, and I really think that the CSRs in this country need to improve on letting us know all the various things we can use cocoa for, even cocoa oil, hair products, all of that, and all of this also will show up the interest in farming. So I've not been impressed with Atuforsen. I feel like he lied to me as an ordinary Ghanaian, and the hope was actually hopeless.
Very well.